kick this one off, man. You kick it off. This is your squad. You talk to us. Let us know what's going on. Is this brand like how much better are the Cowboys with this Brandon Cooks trade?
How about? I was only giving that because Kev said that craziness, man. I mean, we definitely bolstered the roster. Uh, you see the banner here says stars are aligning. I mean, there was a heavy debate in the NFL chat, from my homeboy Worm, said the Cowboys are not in win now mode in Jerry Jones' eyes. So, after you and Worm had that full length debate, I had to sit back and think about it, right? I was like, well, Jerry's not running the team no more, Worm. So you got to think about it. Steven Jones is in win now mode. This is his version of win now mode. Because normally, if you think about, excuse me, if you think about what the Cowboys do in their off season, it's we like our guys' approach, i.e., we don't trade draft picks, we re-sign our own guys, and then we go into the draft and we build from there. Best player available. Like these are all the quotes that you would hear, and these are all the quotes you have been hearing for the last few years. Look at our roster now. We've cut in some fat. We got rid of Zeke. We got a couple Schultz. Schultz is gone. Our offensive line is still a little flaky. We're gonna figure out what we're gonna do with Tyron Smith. I was gonna say Tyron Jones. Look at me thinking about Byron Jones. But and then we traded draft picks to go get who? Stephon Gilmore. Come on now. You got it. That's a big moment. That's a big moment because we literally had 3 cornerbacks on our roster, literally signed on the roster before we got him. So now with that, you can now go into the draft. They say it's a heavy defensive back draft, so you can get some more players developed that way because we know our strength and our best coach is on the defensive side. But let's talk about the most recent thing that happened. We still need a defensive tackle. For me to be in win now mode, we get a defensive tackle and a left tackle. I say we're going somewhere. But until then, I think we're in get better mode, or AKA Steven Jones win now mode. We know Jerry Jones mode is Odell, D-Hop, things like that. It's not happening no more, fellas. Hey, Cowboy Nation, it's not happening no more. This is the biggest off-season move you're going to see until they get rid of Dak Prescott. Unless D-Hop gets cut. Make the call. You never know. Things happen, Look at Darius Slay. But on the offensive side, that shocked me Sunday. That shocked me. That definitely shocked me. It was one of those things where it was like, we want to get D-Hop. We might get Odell. And then they go back and spend the block on a trade that they possibly was going to do mid-season. It's crazy, too, because if you think about it, they were trying to trade for Jerry Jeudy in Denver. He was another phone call that the Cowboys had made. So I was thinking they was more so going to try to make that happen until I found out that the Broncos wanted more picks, like a first-round pick. How you up the trade from what you did from like mid-season? That's kind of like what the Seahawks tried to do to us when we wanted Earl Thomas. I ain't forget about that. But they make the call. Jerry give up a 5th this year, and I think he give up a 6th next year. We get Brandon Cooks in-house. He was 18 mil on the books. And when I say cut fat, they literally cut his salary all the way down. I think Gilmore is now making 12. And the way they talking about restructuring so much of Brandon Cooks deal, I know Houston taking 6 mil of that, and then they're going to restructure a little bit more. So I think he's going to be making almost close to like 9 to maybe 10 mil, and that's going to be a cap hit. So that's a move. I mean, and you got to pay him up. You got to think this guy was what? Out of the 9, this would be his 10th season, but 6 out of the 9 years, he a 1K receiver. I would say we pulled the AJ Brown move. I know Kev gonna like that. It's looking like we follow. It's look like we following in the footsteps, fellas. It's y'all time to say we following in y'all footsteps because y'all been trying to be us for so long. But we went and got us a complimentary receiver who is getting over 1,000 yards to pair up with our number 1 receiver, CeeDee Lamb, and hopefully if Gallup's fully healthy, you get a fully healthy Gallup, and then you could probably get your 2 guys, like your Jalen Tolberts. I'm still weary though because I think Odell Beckham may still be in play. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me how. Exactly, but I think it's gonna happen some way somehow because Jerry still want to do something to sell tickets. Like Brandon Cooks is good, but we want to sell tickets. Like you want to get on you want to be on first take, and Odell's gonna get you on first take. One more thing I want to throw out there: we don't have any running backs, so until we get a running back, I ain't saying we know it. We need something. I didn't like that move. That's the one person we should have let go. I mean, we did cut fat with Zeke. I think we should have let the hurt player go and kept Zeke and then restructure his contract because at least he can play starting week 1 going into training camp. You know you have
Mm-hmm.
an actual back there. You don't know what you're gonna get out of Tony Pollard. And with the free agency market, there's so many Tony Pollards out there that you could have signed another one, like
Mm-hmm.
Kareem Hunt, just names like that. But for me, I liked it. I'm just happy to be in the news for the good reasons. And well, we only up from here.
Mm-hmm. Dave.
So I like the move. I'm not gonna lie, I like the move. Brandon Cooks is a good receiver. I believe this was, if you look at it, it was pretty much a swap because Noah Brown went to the Texans, and now Brandon Cooks is with the Cowboys. So I guess it was the Noah Brown and Dalton Schultz to the Texans. You got Brandon Cooks. Just that's essentially that's kind of sort of what you really did. You really just let them two go there, and then you just like, all right, we just go get Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks also asked for a trade last year before the trade deadline, but they didn't trade him anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed there. So he got his wish now. He's actually traded now. He's with the Cowboys. He's with a better team. Now, with all these moves they made, the big question is still Dak Prescott. So,
Mm-hmm.
Dak, what are you going to do this year now that you have two good weapons now? Three, if Michael Gallup is healthy. You lost your best tight end, Dalton Schultz, but I think your backup tight end is still good enough to be able to suffice. Um, Zeke is gone. He's no longer able to really do what he needs to do anymore. So you still have Tony Pollard. I'm guessing he's going to be your number one running back.
Hey, when you paying him 10 mil, you saying he's your number one.
Hey, yeah, I get you pay him 10 million, you cut Zeke goes, so he has to be your number one.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your backup going to be? That's what I want to figure out. So because I know there were times last year where Tony Pollard was tired after getting a certain amount of carries. So we'll see how that happens throughout this year. If he's able to split that with someone else, there are some running backs out there that are still on the market, so you still have a chance to do that. Derrick Henry still in the trade block. I'm not sure if Jerry's going to make that kind of move to go get somebody like Derrick Henry, because then that puts Tony Pollard back at the back as a backup, and I don't think they're going to do that. But that's just to throw a name out there. I like the move so far. CBS Sports gives you guys a grade of an A minus for as far as your free agency moves. So I don't know if I would give it an A minus, but it's definitely a good grade. B plus, A minus is pretty much the same thing. So it's a good move so far. But the big question is, what is Dak going to do? I think he does make your offense better because he's better than Noah Brown. He's better than Dalton Schultz. Like you say, he's a 1,000-yard receiver with 6 out of 9 seasons. He's a really good receiver. We know he's a number one. He just wasn't in the right system. He didn't have a quarterback there. All he had was Davis Mills, and that's not talking much. I think anybody would agree that Dak Prescott is a lot better than Davis Mills. So I like the move. I think it's going to be good, but we'll see.
All right. First off, Tomo.
Stop the cap.
All right,
You mean
Brandon Cooks,
protect the
not
cap?
AJ Brown. All
Whoa,
right.
whoa, 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 whoa! Y'all know why I say that, and y'all
I
know
know why
why I
you
say that.
said that.
Okay,
It's a
then
complimentary receiver.
there you
But I
go.
know why you say it. But I disagree with that premise. Okay.
Hey, how many Super Bowls has AJ Brown helped win?
I mean, his team
Win.
never. His team.
Oh,
You're
Brandon
right.
Cooks did.
Yeah. So did James White.
Hey,
Fact.
hey. So did Juju. So I'm
All
just
right.
saying.
So did Juju. You're right. So did Juju. All right. So I like the move, Tomo. I think it's a good move. Like Worm keeps saying, y'all addressed a big need, an explosive player as a receiver. Y'all had Tony Pollard. That was like y'all explosive guy. And y'all were in the bottom of the league in 30-yard passes, like 30 yards in the air passes, completions in the league, 30 yards or more. Y'all were like in the bottom. And Brandon Cooks, right, was only second behind Tyreek Hill since he's been in the league. So I think Brandon Cooks is a good explosive player. Only thing is, will he be healthy throughout the whole season? That's my only thing about him. That's the only time he really hasn't really gotten 1,000 yards when he didn't play the whole season. So it was a good move. And I like the Stephon. I wasn't here for Stephon Gilmore like that move. Now, my issue, like you said, I know you mentioned the D tackle, which you've been talking about this since last year, right? Which is crazy. You've been saying this since early last year. But your offensive line. Now, obviously, if y'all are healthy, then y'all should be okay. But if one injury happens, then that's going to be a problem for your offensive line. Y'all don't have that offensive line. And And as far as the running backs, I heard the noise that y'all are talking to Ronald Jones from the Bucks last year. So I mean, he's not no great back, but he's a back. All right, that could just come right in. So I got a question for you though, Tombo, as a Cowboy fan. So David mentioned Dak Prescott is up to him. How much pressure do you think Dak Prescott has coming into the season so far? Do you think? Because let me tell you, let me lay out for you. Because Mike McCarthy calling the plays. Mike McCarthy said they want to go back to run the ball more. He basically saying Kellen Moore messed y'all up, so they're gonna run the ball more. And we always said when y'all run the ball more than throw the ball, y'all are basically undefeated. So if Dak screws this up, then just tell me how much pressure does he have coming into the season?
It's not on Dak.
You right.
That's what was on. It's on the defense. But nah, on the scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna say it's a 10. Pressure wise, because they literally got rid of everything. There's no more excuses. Dak, your go-to running back is gone. Because what's the favorite stat on ESPN? The Cowboys are what? 13-0 when Zeke runs the ball over 100 yards. He's gone. The O-line is up and down, so the protection of the pocket is 50-50. So now your awareness has to be 10 times better. So that excuse is gone. They gave you an extra weapon on the outside with Gallup. Hopefully Gallup comes back fully healthy. But now you're seeing what CD did after Dak got back when he started actually making plays and not dropping the ball in big moments. So you see, you got your receivers there. You got your weapons on the outside. And the backup tight ends with Ferguson and Hendershot. Like last year, Dallas had a great trio at tight end. So you got that as well. And on top of that, that defense. Like it's solely on you. That 49ers game, like imagine if we had all those weapons in that 49ers game and Dak still would have lost the way he did. Oh, he would have been, you know what?
You're done, son.
Because once Pollard went down, they already knew the only weapon we had was CD. And look what Dak did. He threw 4 or 5 interceptions. So if you get Cooks, Gallup, CD, both your tight ends, and we'll see what happens with this running back situation. And you have that defense where you got 2 stout cornerbacks with that pass rush, and your safeties aren't slouches, and you got some middle of the pack linebackers. Like, come on, bro. There's no more excuses. Like, it's solely on you. Like, you have to take this year and progress, not regress. Because last season, I think he regressed. Like, people forget that he broke his thumb too. So that's a little bit of a built-in excuse of why he probably threw all the interceptions. But Dak, nah. There's nothing. Nah, it's you on 10 right now.
I agree. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.